people. And hey, we have definitely been dipping into your good secret sauce here that you make. This Asian sauce is, I mean, let me tell you, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I think this is so funny. We travel with so much of that when we're doing events.
Right.
And then we have bottles to give our chef friends. And I can't tell you how fun it is to pop onto social media and see that somebody is got it on the counter, because you put that just on poached chicken. I mean, just poached chicken, and that alone is one of my favorite meals.
Well, I was having some, excuse me, I was making some roasted potatoes for our meal. It's our son's 13th birthday today. So I'm kind of preparing a feast. So I was roasting some potatoes, and I was just dipping it right in with the potato, and it was unbelievable. I want that now.
It's actually potatoes and hot chili oil with the solids in them is a classic Szechuan dish. And one of the things that they do that I love is they julienne raw Yukon Gold style potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Into very thin alumettes. Blanch them in hot water, pull them right out, rinse them in cold water, dry them, stack them up, and then drizzle them with chili oil so they look like noodles. Out of control.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. I got to travel the world. We got to travel the world with you sometime. That's amazing. Tell us about your new show, What's Eating America?
I thought it was a really important time in our country to take sort of the evolution of food TV to another level. I thought that, you know, we had the Jock and Julia era that began in the 60s, and then, you know, talking heads standing behind a cutting board is how Food Network started, right? And then, if you remember, and
I remember 1999 was when I came on.
You broke, I mean, people tend to forget, but you broke just about every glass ceiling that there was. You know, first female Iron Chef, first female chef elected into the Culinary Hall of Fame, and you've been around. You look 25, but you have the experience of a 27-year-old.
That's so sweet.
But you know, you remember that, you know, game came in and then travel came in, and I just thought, you know, people are now so, and rightfully so, obsessed with the social justice issues around food. Absolutely. We spend all of our lives as culinarians. You mentioned that we saw, and I think maybe we saw each other somewhere else between now and when we did Robert's Charity.
Yeah.
But this is where chefs see each other all the time, is we show up for someone else's charity in another city. It is fully half of our time is spent giving back, which is why I'm so angry that independent restaurants all around the country are getting the crap kicked out of them.
Yes.
And meanwhile, our reaction is to go out into the world and, you know, feed first responders and nurses and doctors, and it's driving me nuts these days. But anyway, the time was right to tell the stories of the people who were making our food. And there's not a civic issue in the world that is whose story is not best told through the lens of food. So that's what we did. And it turned into a big fat hit. We had no idea if there would be an appetite for it. Those shrimp look fantastic, by the way.
I'm just marinating while you're talking, because
it's hard to focus.
I love talking to you because you're such an intellect. You're so talented in so many ways, and you know a lot of, you know, you can wear a lot of hats, and it's so fascinating to always talk to you about it, because we can always get really deep into, like, you know, some of these, like you were talking about, the social injustices and the social and what's going on socially. And I love that you have created a show with your team that is going to pivot and disrupt our way of thinking about what is the norm of cooking shows or food shows. And I love that, because, you know, there are so many, as you said, we're getting the shit kicked out of us in restaurants. We closed all of our restaurants, obviously. We're just trying to get insurance and business disruption insurance. And that's become a huge, huge issue among all of us in this industry. And, you know, just getting some kind of relief for small businesses around America. And I love that you're tackling those type of issues because they're so important in changing the paradigm.
It's interesting, you know, everyone does what they can do, right?
Right.
And I've been lucky enough over
Absolutely.
the last 10 years to spend a lot of time lobbying Washington for a lot of great causes. And I know that the real difference maker for small businesses, that includes the $1 trillion independent restaurant world, is going to be done with these tranches of economic relief on Capitol Hill. If we don't get more money for those independent restaurants, right? Because regardless of what happens, you're going to survive, I'm going to survive.
Right.
There's a small percentage of the top of folks that if our insurance gets denied, if our PPP gets denied, we're good at starting over, right? And
done it many times.
We have right, and we have equity in the system because of where our careers have taken us. But 99% of our fellow restaurant owners and chefs do not have that opportunity. And we need to use our platform to stick up for them and make sure that they're getting the relief that they need, because if they go away, we're going to see a massive attrition of restaurants. You know, when this whole thing started, I thought, oh, maybe 30% of restaurants at worst won't make it back. Now I'm talking about 70, 80%. If we don't get the PPP straightened out, and if we don't get substantive monies, that $250 billion in that next tranche for small businesses, so that the mom and pop restaurants, the Main Street pizzerias, the tiny little ramen shops, so that they can continue to move forward, we're going to lose one of the most valuable cultural totems that we have in America. And if people want to learn more about that, I would encourage them to go to saverestaurants.com and explore, click on the links, find out who your lawmakers are, send a note to Congress, and get some money for small businesses to reopen. It's not about funding big business. This is about funding hundreds and 700,000 little independent restaurants that are a massive industry in this country.
It's absolutely true, because a lot of these, you know, a lot of these people, these folks have put their life savings into one. Maybe they have 2 restaurants, but this is their life savings. This is all they have. This is their livelihood. They've sunk everything into it. And you're absolutely right. I'm so glad you put that website out there, and I'm so glad you put that message out there. One question I really want to ask you is, you know, I knew Anthony Bourdain, you know, and I knew him as an acquaintance. He was a great, you know, very, very cool guy. You were very good, very close with him. You guys did each other's shows. You were, you know, good friends with him. What would Tony be? What would his perspective be right now? What would he be thinking about all this?
Like so many of us, he would be the first one carrying the flag, marching it up the mountain, standing on the steps of the Capitol, if he could get there from wherever he was quarantining, with a megaphone. He would be making loud declarative statements that would become the catchphrases for our generation. But probably more importantly, because it's really how he did so many things, he would be doing everything that he could behind the scenes, using his advocacy. One of the smartest, most dynamic, most captivating human beings that I've ever been around. And I think he would be using all of those superpowers for the little businesses, because like me, we spend our lives on the roads, you know, globally, not just nationally. And the joy was finding that tiny little, it's not even a soup restaurant. It's a guy or a lady with a cart and 2 plastic stools. One of them is broken, in some little town in Cambodia, and you eat some noodle soup and broth that curls your toes. It's so good, right? Every vegetable from the garden, shrimp that she pulls out of the water, from the estuary behind the little wooden structure that he or she lives in. And to go in and tell the stories of those people is how we made our livings. And I think he would be those were the people that he felt were the most noble. Those were the people who he felt should be respected the most in our food world. And he would be fighting the hardest. He'd be fighting the hardest for them.
I thought you might say something like that, because it's so interesting to hear, when I have leaders on like yourself and influencers and when people have such a wealth of knowledge like you do, not only of what you see in the world and from your perspective, but also from someone's perspective like Anthony Bourdain and others and other leaders that unfortunately aren't here with us now, to help guide us, if you will. Like you said, it's so rich for people out there who are just, these uncertain times. There's anxiousness, there's stress, there's so much uncertainty and fear, and to help hear something that's comforting from someone like yourself is one of the reasons why I have people like you on this show. I started this as just to cook dinner. I was cooking dinner every night. I felt like I can connect with the world. I can give that this can be a hotline for people who are just trying to cook and get through dinner or get through cooking 3 meals a day, 7 days a week now. And we're cooking more than ever in our kitchen. So when I said to Nicole, my wife, who's behind the camera, by the way, I said, I want to have people on. I want to have leaders on. I want to have people like yourself who have so much to offer. And with that, I read your story. It was a while back. We had already known each other for a long time. I read your story of sobriety and your journey. And oh my God, I get chills thinking about it. You have it should be made into a movie. You have such an amazing, it takes my breath away to think of the journey you went through to get to sobriety. You've been sober how long now?
It was 28 years and 2 months.
Wow. Amazing. What would you tell people? We've seen everything, obviously we get our news immediately. Everything is right in our face. And I've seen that things that, there's been a lot of talk about temptation. You're at home, you're stuck at home, people have a lot of anxiety right now. There's a temptation to overeat, overdrink, overgamble, over exercise, over everything. What would you say to people, especially, I just saw a statistic where, online booze sales now had just increased 300% or something, because people have so much anxiety being at home. And of course, now we're going on week 7. What would you say to people to try to find balance? I was talking about this with food just last week. What would you say, someone who's been sober 28 years and 2 days or 2 months, what would you say to people who are in that situation right now and their temptation is, I'm just going to grab a bottle and booze it up?
It's really sad. You have to reach out to other people. We're only as sick as our secrets. Mm-hmm. And sharing life with someone else, our mistakes especially, raising the humility bar for ourselves, increasing the gratitude quotient for ourselves, and talking to another human being about it is actually the foundational element of recovery in whatever your ism is. I would put a more expansive framework around what you just brought up, because I think you're onto something that's really, really insightful. And I've been talking about it a lot, doing corporate Zooms and things like that, and trying to get the message out there and raise some fundraising and awareness around it. The country shuts down, everyone's at home.
Yeah.
We have special schools. There were therapeutic communities for developmentally disabled and physically disabled young people who were moved back into homes.
Yeah.
We have families where there is an abuser, emotional or physical, where everyone is sheltering again together. We have so many social programs and public assistance programs that have gone away. And there are so many people out there. The need has grown. I was just on the phone before talking to you with the woman, Allison O'Toole, who runs the second largest food bank in America.
Wow.
And she told me that the demand in our state here in Minnesota at our food shelves has more than doubled, right? And
yes.
our food shelves, no one had put themselves out of business yet. So it's not like we were feeding everyone who was hungry to begin with. Now the need is doubled. We have, you know, record unemployment. You have to go back to the Great Depression in my grandfather's lifetime to remember a time when we had as much of an economic challenge. And so the vulnerable, the disadvantaged, and the people who are hurting inside are the ones that when this comes to an end, and it will, by the way, come to an end, and we are going to move on, and restaurants will reopen, and I'll get to give you a hug in real life instead of waving on the phone. But the human cost to get there has just been spectacular. And we need to help those people too. We talk about the food and the farmers and all that other side of things, but in our personal lives, our friends and our neighbors who are in special circumstances are hurting. And so I would like people to understand that they can go on to Google your local website. Think nationally, but act locally, right? Go to Google your neighborhood shelter, your neighborhood food kitchen, soup kitchen, and don't figure out a way to do something, even if it's just awareness raising in your own text chain. Anything that you can do to reach out to those people who are hurting, because there's a lot of them out there. For people who are struggling, who are sober and are thinking about relapse, it's not worth it. The voice inside your head that's telling you that a drink will make it better is lying to you. Go on to Google the Zoom meeting nearest you. They're happening all over. Thousands of them every hour. I'm getting into. At first, Zoom meetings were weird for me. But
they're weird for everybody.
I'm kind of into them now.
And they're a lot easier now.
Join us, trudge the road of happy destiny. It's a really, really important thing. So thank you for asking.
Think people that are struggling, not even people that may be alcoholics or recovering, but even people who are fighting themselves. I mean, I've had a couple people just call us and say, God, I called my doctor up and I said, why am I feeling like this? He said, well, because you're drinking wine every night now. You were doing that before. I mean, you know, it's like we have, you know, I mean, everybody's going through some kind of anxiety, and they're, you know,
everybody. I want everyone to remember that word. When Kat is saying that, she's not talking metaphorically. This is a global pandemic. There has never been such universal uncertainty and ambiguity in modern history. This eclipses world wars when it comes to global ambiguity and uncertainty, and that breeds anxiety and stress. So even people who didn't even know that they had depression issues, it's coming out, and it's coming out sideways. And we need to talk to our fellow human beings, and we need to remember that asking for help is a sign of strength, not of weakness. It's okay to call someone and tell them that you're hurting.
It's a sign of strength to be vulnerable. It really is. And that's one of the reasons why I bring some of these, even though, you know, yes, I'm cooking dinner, and I want to bring in some topics as well that I know people, I have no doubt that we struggle with it here. I know they are struggling. We are all we have our good days, our bad days. It's a roller coaster of emotion. So I always want to bring something in. I'm not going to be afraid of talking about some of the tougher things that are happening with this. We're always going to stay positive, and we're uplifting everybody. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this series, is because I want to uplift everybody at home. But I also want to hit the facts. And the facts are, we are all going to have days where we struggle. And
well, you learn you're a mom.
We want to reach for,
so
exactly.
you and Nicole are raising a family. And I mean, you guys are, I was about to say, you've got like 14 kids now.
we got a whole restaurant kitchen.
But the fact of the matter is that's where you learn what you're responsible, whether you have 1 or 12.
Yes.
You realize that the BSing time is over. If you're not direct, if you're not for changing the world and making it a better place, I think you're living an unfulfillable life. I think if you are willing to commit to whatever little cause it is, even if your cause is making sure grandma's happy, that's enough.
That's it. Yeah.
You just got to be for something. You got to be for something.
Something, even if it's just for a family member, like you said, for something right now in this kind of time. I want to ask how your family's doing.
Everyone is doing great. My son is doing, I just got a chance to Zoom talk with him today.
Awesome.
His boarding school is still holding all their students because they're actually safer there in the location that he's in.
Wow.
So we don't get to,
instead of letting them out and going. Yeah.
And we don't get, it's the first, I've never gone so long without seeing him because I would go visit there once a month. He comes home every month. And so it's, that's hard because while I'm staying isolated and all the rest of that, you see the stories all the time of people who get sick and don't get to say goodbye to their loved ones because of the nature of this virus.
That is, to me, one of the hardest parts of this. I try to
stay out of that, but that's the one little dark place in my mind that I can drift into, which is why it's important for me to say that out loud, because then it loses its power over me.
I love that you said that because it's true. I think when you do say things out loud and you don't tamp them down, you just say it out there, it's out there, and you do take the juice out of it. And I love that you made that point because I think it's a good point for everybody to hear that. And that's one of the ways to balance. That's one of the ways to stay insane. How's your wife doing?
Everyone is good. Everyone is fantastic. Everyone here in Minnesota says hello. A whole bunch of your chef friends here. I was telling them all that I was coming on and doing this. They all said to say hello.
I love it. Tell them I said hello back.
I'm absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, everybody's saying the nicest things about you. They think you're the best. They love you. When are you coming to their town or their state or their country?
Nicole, don't lie. Most of them are saying, could you please stop talking about these issues?
No, that was just
stop making him cry and cook those shrimp.
No, that was one comment.
I'm going to cook those shrimp. I'm going to be cooking that steak and the shrimp. And you are awesome, dude. I love
you guys.
We got to come together when we get through this. And I know we will. We're all resilient. We got to come together because I love to sit down, breaking some bread with you and having some conversations like this. It gives me the chills. It really does. And
we will.
I'm giving you the biggest hug. This was such an honor to have you on. I have so much respect for you, and I just can't say enough. So thank you so much, buddy, for coming on.
Tk you, my love.
Great
to see you. Bye, Nicole.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye, Kat. See you later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to get out there and start cooking. I want to going to get some things. Andrew Zimmern, incredible guy, really incredible. And I always love his point of view because he's really at the forefront. And I love what he had to say about Tony Bourdain because I think it's so true. And it's a perspective and an opinion. It's his opinion of what he thinks, but he was very close to him. And I really love hearing what he, in his opinion, thinks Tony would be reacting to right now. And I'm going to take these shrimp out because I know you guys have been waiting for this. Nikki,
what do you need me to take, honey? Anything?
I got everything. Wow. You just got to open the door for me. And we decorated. You can see the decorations on the table. Here we go. Yeah. Coming behind you. We're coming out. Hi, guys. Hi.
Birthday.
You guys ready to party? Yeah. All right. Let's get this party started.
Trick shot, easy.
Go.
Here we go. Let's put some steaks on. Hey, you guys. All right. Here we go.
Somebody said they're at CIA because of you.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. And I'm just going to get
Caje, everyone is saying happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Woo! All right. Put these steaks on.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny's on.
Jenny.
Aunt Jenny's on, everyone. Aunt Jenny says happy birthday.
Oh, my God. Look at these steaks going on. Look at this. Now, you guys, I'm going to recap this for you. Remember, I have salt, pepper. I did some Worcestershire sauce. I did this incredible black garlic molasses, which is new to me. Someone sent it to me to try, and it is mind-blowing, like ridiculous. It's one of the new cool things that I'm trying right now. And I had a steak in the freezer that was left over from a week or two ago that I'm throwing in there, and now I'm going to put some of these little shrimp on. Look at this.
Thanks for all the birthday wishes, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for saying
they
happy
said, is
birthday.
that a gas grill?
This is a gas grill, yeah. It's a gas grill. It's a rotisserie. This is actually a Heston grill. This is this is one of my
her
babies.
baby.
This is my baby.
It's her
baby. Yeah, I have
it's her
7. It's my 8th baby.
With Lala.
Oh, 9th baby. Yeah.
And me? You're counting me?
You're counted in there. So this is a Heston grill. It's literally a Lamborghini grill. It's pretty ridiculous and incredible. So I love it, and I take really good care of it. I was out here polishing it up for all of you. I did, yes. I polished it up, made sure it's nice and shiny for all of you. So I'm putting some of these shrimp on here. And these will cook pretty fast. I'm going to have these cooked ahead for a little appetizer, and then we're going to go right into cooking some steak. So we'll have a steak in a little while. These are just little appetizers I'm throwing on right now.
Smells so good.
God, it's so.
Do you tenderize all your steaks? I told you're not supposed to.
I don't tenderize them. The only thing that I tenderize them with is literally my marinades. And I always use a little acid in the marinades, like lemon or some kind of Worcestershire sauce, or both, because the acid actually helps tenderize meat. So you could do that and leave this marinade on, anywhere from, the longer the better with beef. So if you can leave it on for 8 hours, 10 hours, it's even better. 30 minutes is not really enough for beef, but you could get some flavor in if you only have that.
Matthew said you could cook a whole pig on that thing.
That's true. I haven't done that yet, but maybe this summer when this is all over, maybe we'll see. Okay, no, my wife said no. She shut that down right away. That's not going to happen.
That would be hard to see.
Oh, God. So anyway, these are some great shrimp. These are jumbos and really beautiful, actually. And what I did was on this, I made a Basque shrimp. This is one of my favorite marinades for shrimp, and you could actually use it on meat too. I did my dad's Sparrow's marinade. He taught me that since I was a little girl, he always put Worcestershire sauce on his meat. So his beef was always like garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, lemon, salt, pepper. That's it. And a little, I said the garlic powder on there. And that's really it. It was like 5 ingredients on there. And it was always so delicious. So I just take this. I got to turn this heat up a little bit. I can't turn this up too high because I'm telling you, this thing will get mean. It is a mean, fired up grill. It will get hot quick. So you got to be really careful with your temperatures. So I'm going to crank it up a little bit, let that sit for a minute. But I always save this extra marinade because I kind of brush it on a little bit afterwards. When I've turned it over, I'll brush a little more marinade on it, keep cooking it. But definitely have your lemon here, a little lemon on there. Yeah, hit that with a little lemon on there, and it's always so good. Keep that lemon close by.
JD Foster, Ontario, Canada here tonight again. Hey, JD.
Ontario.
Cindy said she loves grilling.
Oh, I love grilling. That's my favorite thing.
You have Gerald from Florida on here.
Oh. Hi, Gerald, Florida.
Shelby's on.
Hey, Shelby. Nice shout out from everybody. Thanks again to Andrew Zimmern for coming on and giving his insight and so much more. I mean, he's just such a fascinating man with a lot of incredible intellect on. And I love hearing perspective from different people. I love to hear all your perspectives. Mel
said, slap those steaks.
Slap them. All right. Does that give it a little extra tenderizing? Slap that steak. Slap it. Okay.
Judy Garland's on again.
Judy Garland in the house. All right. Look at those. You guys excited?
Sham Dog. Sham Dog said that looks great.
We have a lot of hungry.
Half of those are going to be mine, Mama.
Okay. We have a lot of hungry boys, let me tell you.
So what exactly are you making?
So I marinated the shrimp in. Remember, I told you about the.
Yeah, for sure.
I told you about the beef marinade. Okay, that's my dad's recipe. And then I'm going to tell you about the shrimp.
Hey, Chatty.
Hi. I'm going to tell you about the shrimp. So what I do is I put on, this is my Basque rub. It's orange zest. So I put on orange zest, minced garlic, and then I add in salt, pepper, and chili powder. So 5 ingredients. This is all going to be on my website, catcora.com. I also want to remind you guys that I'm on cameo.com. If you want me to send an uplifting message to somebody you love or a note, you let me know. Come on and find me. It's real super easy. Go to my website for other videos, how-to videos. We're on TikTok now. I know you've seen some of the experimentation we're doing on TikTok. And it's been a little fun and crazy.
Birthday boy!
Birthday boy!
Usually he's Usually he's cooking with us.
Yeah, he's usually cooking. I think
He's chef extraordinaire.
He's taking the day off today. I don't blame him. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Oh. It's your birthday. All right. Finally getting hot again.
Valerie said a house party is in order. Yeah, when this is done,
house party.
Everyone's invited.
Everybody's invited.
You can get here.
House party.
You're invited.
Oh my God. I will tell you, when everything reopens again and we resume life again, there is going to be so many huge celebrations around. I mean, we try to celebrate every day something, but
your brother is battling cancer. Yeah, we can't see him and his family right now.
We can't wait to see them.
We have our parents.
See your parents in Miami. We can't wait to see Grandma in Dallas. Grandma Marilyn in Dallas.
All of our friends, our brothers, our sisters.
I mean, the parties are going to be endless.
You want to cook one? Go.
Okay. This is Thatcher. This is
another chef extraordinaire.
Anyone?
Want.
Pick one. Which one do you think needs turning?
I eat one.
Oh, good job.
Oh yeah.
Just one? There's like 30 on there.
Yeah.
You want to flip some? All right. This is Nash.
The best one in the house.
Oh, cocky. So confident. Yes, our kids are very confident. Okay, flip one. There we go. Let's see how you do it. Let's see your style.
Oh, my flipping style.
Oh yeah, with a little pool water dripping on there.
Oh, yeah.
A little pool water, little extra marinade on there.
Ron from Cleveland says hello.
Hey, Ron from Cleveland. Oh yeah, let's take some of these off now.
It's Mary's mom's birthday from Canada.
Hey Mary,
today.
Happy birthday to your mom. What's your mom's name?
A lot of people said prayers for your brother.
Oh, thank you so much, you guys. You're the best. Have the best community out there ever. And look at those babies. Those are just fattening up. Look at they're just plumping up right there. They have that Basque rub on there. Oh yeah. Let's make sure these steaks are neat. The steak needs to be turned. Not ready. It's not ready yet.
Should I taste if it's not poisonous?
Should you taste it? I don't know.
To make sure it's not poison.
Yeah, so
that's probably a good idea.
Now. They're a little hot. You can tell. You can tell we have to cook fast and hard.
It's hot. It's hot.
It goes fast.
It's hot. It's hot.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. I like what you're wearing. I like you're wearing your Mesa Burger hat. Good advertising.
Sponsor them.
Yep.
Mesa Burger. Yep.
They sell really good food.
Still doing takeout for the community on the Mesa.
Still doing takeout.
Uber Eats.
Delivery.
We're on DoorDash.
Uber Eats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Gavin coming out.
You put food on the table, they'll come out.
It's for sure not poisonous.
All right, I love it. All right, we're getting some steak action here. Woo, look at that.
Birthday dinner.
That's a nice steak right there. You guys gonna be ready to eat?
I want steak right now.
Look at that. All right.
We each get one, right?
Well, hey, everybody's happy. We're getting this party started over here. And love to all of you out there. Thank you guys for tuning in again. And we will be back tomorrow night, TGIF. We've got another great guest on. We have Tate Taylor, very famous director from Churchill, Mississippi. He is amazing. He directed The Help, Girl on a Train, and so many other amazing movies. And he's going to be on tomorrow to talk about what's going on in his industry and in Mississippi.
Matt, who delivered the black garlic and the shrimp from Chef's Warehouse, he said black garlic molasses fire.
Oh,
You're right.
That is amazing. That is something new that I haven't tasted something that ridiculously good in a long time. You know, it is really, really special. So thank you for dropping that little gem off to us. And look, you can
Kim, I think KM Humphrey said, thanks for creating a little sense of community during this time.
Oh, thank you for appreciating that. And
omelet factory. Wow. There was an omelet factory in Long Island where I was from. My grandpa, Sonny, before he passed away, he took us there like every weekend. That was like his little time to spend with his grandkids.
That's so cool.
And they served the omelets on a skillet. Like you got them on a hot skillet to your table.
That's amazing.
Never forget that. I wonder if it's still there.
That is incredible. Well, I'm giving you guys all a giant food hug. Thanks for tuning in for Cage's birthday to hear.
Happy birthday, Cage!
And our